Om Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dear devotees, if you remember the last class, we were discussing about the 7 arguments given by Upanishad. That was because a student asked a question for the teacher that, Sir, if an ignorant person dies, when a person dies, and if he is ignorant, will he reach the self or will he get the realization? And if a wise person dies, passes away, then will he reach the ultimate destination or the self-realization? This was the question. And there is one more underlining question, it was there. Really, does consciousness or awareness, in the Sanskrit they use the word Atman or Brahman, does they really exist? So this was the question. Yes, Brahman really exists, that is awareness or consciousness. For that, 7 arguments I listed in a short form, and more or less 3 arguments we have discussed. Today, we'll be discussing another 4 arguments. And if you see all these things, the classical philosophy has to answer 3 things mainly. What is that? One is self, that is I am, who am I? The second is world, universe, which we see, live, experience. And the third is the creator, or the high spirit, or the supreme self, or God, whatever we may use the word. So the classical philosophy has to answer the questions for all the 3 things. Now, who am I has been answered already. Now, about the creator, who has created this world, also we saw last time. And the nature of creation will be explained now actually. How this world came into existence, that also we saw. The Brahman thought, let me become many. The consciousness desired that let me become many. As a result, this whole world came into existence. So the theory of creation also has come. And quite interestingly, if you see, or if you think, what are the theories available at present? The standard from scientific angle, if you see, there's a Big Bang theory. Say around 12 billion years or 18 billion years, there was a quite hot. It was quite hot, and a particular material was there, a single material was there. It started getting expanded. And there was just a bang, and it started expanding. And that's how, then after expansion, then slowly started becoming cool, then hydrogen, helium started, then slowly stars, planets, solar systems, amoeba, to human being got evolved. So already something existing, it became quite hot. As a result, it started getting expanded. So before Big Bang, already some entity was there. What it is, they are not aware, the science. The one more theory, they say, it is like a cyclic theory. Cyclic theory is, there is a continuous of expansion and contract of the world or universe. That's what we say, creation and the dissolution of the universe. These are the 2 things. And when it comes to theology or from religion, most of the Semitic religions, they say God created this world out of nothing. God willed or God created, and this came. And here the beauty comes, the Upanishad or Advaita Vedanta philosophy, that the consciousness is getting manifested, or it is appearing as the life, sentient principle and insentient principle. That is the beauty of Advaita Vedanta. The consciousness or awareness, it is appearing as human being, and it is appearing as the world and objects and everything. The science is telling the consciousness is the product of matter. Of course, now at present it is changing, no doubt, but still consciousness is the product of matter, they say. And the Vedanta says it takes a just opposite turn. Oh, no. Matter is the byproduct of the consciousness. So it is not that body has a consciousness. We think that body has got a consciousness, but Vedanta says no, consciousness has a body. Consciousness assumes it has a body, or consciousness has a body. Asadva idamagra asit tato vai sadajayata tadatmanag swayam kurata tasmat sukrutam uchyate iti. The rough running translation goes like this. This universe was indeed the unmanifest consciousness in the beginning. From that alone, this manifested universe was created or born. That Brahman created itself by itself. Therefore, it is said to be the self-creator, thus ends the Rig mantra. So last class, we did discuss about the theory of creation. And for that, the Rishi said, my dear, it is not only my understanding, or it is not only my, argument, rather the oldest book, which is Rig Veda in the whole world, that is the oldest text. And even the Rig Veda also it also accepts my argument. It substantiates my argument. So to substantiate his view, he is quoting this Rig Veda mantra. So here what they are telling, the consciousness or awareness is the material cause and also the intelligent cause of the creation. For example, there's a beautiful pot made from clay. And the pot is the product or the effect. Then what is the material cause for that? The clay. And who is the efficient cause or intelligent cause? The potter. So for a product, there are two causes. One is material cause, that is clay here, and there is an intelligent cause or efficient cause, that is the potter. Say for an example, golden ornament. If you take a golden earring as a product, the material cause will be gold, and the efficient cause or intelligent cause will be the goldsmith. Now, so if you take this universe, the manifested universe, which we are experiencing, which we are living as a product, as an effect, what is the matter or material cause for this? Oh, the atomic theory says that atoms, and the science says it is a matter, and some say it is an energy, and some today they are speaking of entropy or a quantum, all these things. Now, the Advaita Vedanta says Brahman is the material cause for this universe. Okay, and what about this intelligent cause? Who is the intelligent cause for this universe? If you ask, the Brahman itself. So Brahman is intelligent cause and also the material cause for this universe or this world. For that, he is giving the Rigvedic mantra. Okay, how did this creation started, or what was existing before creation? If you ask, asatvai idamagra asit. So creation out of nothing, the Vedanta or Upanishads doesn't accept. Why? It goes against the logic. If I can create out of nothing, then I say that assume that you are having, you sow nothing and I will get a beautiful mango tree, mango plant or mango sapling. It is not possible. Mango sapling is only possible when I sow the mango seed. When I sow the apple seed, then only I can get apple saplings, apple plant, I don't get it. So the theory of the creation out of nothing, which Semitic religions, they say, it goes against the science. Today, science is discarding it because law of conservation of energy, law of conservation of momentum, all these things. So the creation out of nothing, it cannot happen. And was there really something existing before creation? Yes. Otherwise, creation is not possible. Even Vedanta says the word creation itself is a misnomer. because no new energy can be created and no energy can be destroyed. Today, science is telling very clearly only the energy can be transformed from one form to another form, so no fresh energy can be created and no energy can be destroyed. If so, then how fresh creation can come into existence? So it is not there. Then before creation of this universe, then what was there? If you ask, the Brahman was existing in the unmanifested form. That is what called here Asat. Whoever knows Sanskrit, the Asat means it is non-existence actually. So, but we should not take as a non-existence. We should take here it is. The Rishi should have been used avyakta actually, unmanifested. I don't know why Rishi used the word Asat. So, Asat vai idam agra asit means before the creation of this manifested universe, it was, the whole thing was in an unmanifested state. Means which is not visible to the naked eye, and which there is no dualities, which there is no divisions basically. Everything was in a as in a one unit, single unit, you can say. Tataha vai sat ajayata. Tataha, from that means which? From that unmanifested state, verily this sat, this manifested state of this universe has been emerged or manifested. So here you can see very clearly, Upanishad does not accept the theory of creation, rather it only says theory of manifestation. From the unmanifested state, it got it into manifested state. So there is only change of state, but it is no creation. For an example, water. When the water you keep in a refrigerator, what happens? Because of the cold, it gets turned into ice cubes. So from liquid state, we got a solid state, but there is no new creation actually in that sense. Tada atmanam swayam akurata. And who created this universe? The Brahman itself. Swayam akurata. He himself, the self-creator. Who created this universe? The Brahman created this universe. He's a self-made man. We all say, oh, he's a self-made man. He struggled and he has come up in a life. He's a self-made man. We use as the word. So Swayam Akurata means he's a self-made man. He does not take any help. He created this universe out of himself. When these things, when we discuss, sometimes it goes above the head. I know that. And whether is it really possible? I mean, a consciousness, awareness, it is an intelligent cause, we can understand. How the consciousness can become matter? It is quite illogical. Or it goes above the head, how to accept it or how to understand it. The question might come. This is the beauty of the Upanishads. The Rishis in those days, they were very beautiful observers. They used to observe everyday phenomena, every small thing, starting from ant to the highest thing, they used to observe. And we can see in the master, that is Sri Ramakrishna's life also, he was a very powerful observer actually. So Upanishad Rishis have observed so beautifully, so minutely, they give an example of spider and spider web. Take spider web, if you take it as a product or effect, the spider web, to create that web, where it comes. For example, a bird creates a nest. It goes and it picks the twigs. It might pick up the stone or maybe soil or a mud or whatever it may be. It creates basically using all that. But when the spider creates the spider web, it brings the saliva from its own body. We all know that. So they give this example. Just like spider is ejecting its saliva and it is creating a spider web. So similarly, Brahman is appearing as, manifesting as this world. So the consciousness or awareness is appearing as this world. Tasmat tat sukrutam uchyata iti. Therefore, he is known as, or it is known as sukrutam. Sukrutam means self-made or perfectly made. So thus ends the Rigvedic mantra. So now if you see consciousness, he is appearing as, manifesting as the world. So it is not accidental. The creation, the theory of creation or the theory of creation of the world, it is not accidental. It is not creation out of nothing, or even God created also me not to accept. It is just awareness is appearing as this matter, mind, energy, and all things. So consciousness and consciousness alone exist. Beautifully in the Kathopanishad, actually, in the second chapter, Yama tells beautifully, whatever you are experiencing, this world, objects, and the states of experience, that is the deep sleep state, dream state, or the waking state, all of them are nothing but the Brahman, and Brahman alone exists. Because why? Time also exists in the Brahman, space also exists in the Brahman, he says. Okay, now, so after discussing this, the fourth argument is saying that Brahman is the, since Brahman is the cause for the existence of the world, so this can be the fourth argument to prove the existence of the self. So yesterday, while we were traveling from the southwest coast of the Ireland, I asked in the traveling with our devotees, what can be the most contradicting statement in this world? What can be the most contradicting statement in this world? Does anyone can say? What can be the most contradicting statement in this world?
I do not exist.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, you caught the Vedanta, that means I do not exist, I don't exist. It looks very simple, but it is not so. Even to say I don't exist, I have to exist. He does not exist. She does not exist. It does not exist. We can say, anyone can say. But to say I don't exist, I have to exist. So no one can deny the self-awareness. No one can deny the existence of the self. Unfortunately, we are not aware of it. So for the existence of the self, the fourth argument is the whole world has been created or manifested out of Brahman. Or Brahman manifested this universe as an efficient cause and material cause. That is the fourth argument for the existence of the self or consciousness or awareness. When I say Brahman or Atman, don't think that, okay, there is someone who is sitting in the heaven, or maybe in some cave or in some mountain or some place, so-called Brahman or Atman, who is creating all these things. No, I am that Brahman, you are that Brahman, we are that Brahman. All right. Now, quite interestingly, the Upanishad or the Rishi gives the argument, fifth argument is Brahman is the source of all types of bliss or happiness. To prove the Brahman exists or consciousness exists, he gives the fifth argument, that is the source of happiness is what? The self. Now, many times we get a question when we, at some point of time, if we are really thinking seriously, is there any possibility? Is there any chance where I can be happy at all given point of times? Sometimes we think, sometimes we feel, I don't think it is possible, Heraclean task, and sometimes we think maybe because of something. If you ask a child, what makes you happy? Generally, child says that, oh, you give a toy. Toy is the source of happiness for the child, or maybe a toffee or a chocolate. So whenever children come here, I make sure that I give toffees for them. So that what happens? Next time they say, Mama will go to ashram to see Swamiji, they'll say. So their coming to ashram is what? To get toffees, because probably their parents might not give for a health reason or whatever I give. So to attract them actually. So for them, the source of joy or happiness is a simple toy or a chocolate. Then when you little grown up or adolescent or a youth, if you ask, probably he may say, I need cell phone, I need some robotics, or I may need a car or a vehicle, something like that. Then if you go little more, when you finish your education, university exams and all, then what will be the source of happiness? Job. I should get a job with a less work and less problems and good salary, good paycheck. That is the source of my happiness, we think. And we struggle for it. And when we get, we feel, oh, heaven is in our palm. But after a few days, after some time, we feel, oh, my dear, it is okay, but there are a lot of problems, complications. Then afterwards, we feel, oh, no, money is not only the thing. Relationships are very important. Then money is taken care, relationships are taken care. Then if you really, that intellectual journey, if it grows, then we feel status is important. People should respect me. Whether you give me paycheck or not, you should respect me. You can't handle me in a disrespectful way. I don't pay for a paycheck, but you should handle me in a proper way. So status, social status or individual status, then I should have a power, I should have a position, then I can be happy. How many times I can be just employee? I should be team leader or I'm a manager or so that. So power and position makes me happy, I think. Sometimes name and fame. People should recognize me as a celebrity. So it starts from toy or a chocolate and it goes to, it can go on like this. People might feel it. But if you really analyze, all of them or any of them gives happiness. Yes, it gives happiness momentarily. It gives happiness for some time, for a minute, for an hour, for a day, for a week, maybe for a few months, but afterwards, no. For still I remember some 2008 or 9, I think, when I got a phone with a touch screen. In those days, touch screen was very less, functions were there. But still when I got it, I felt like oh my dear, I got a cell phone with a touch screen, whatnot. Like, I think I sent 100 messages for people saying that, okay, this is my number, I have got a cell phone with this particular company or model or whatever. I felt it is so joyful because mobile. But after a few days, when I started getting a phone call at odd times and all, I thought, oh my dear, the cell phone is really means it binds us. It puts us into problem. The same cell phone, which was a joy, it was a source for a joy, now it is becoming a source of burden or a cumbersome or whatnot. So anything in this world, that's why reason Upanishad says, Sukham alpe nasti. The real bliss, the real happiness cannot come from finite things. It can only come from infinite or infinity. And which is that infinite or infinity? You are that, means that self. That has been told here. Now we shall try to see. Yadvai tat sukrutam raso vai saha rasaggai hevayam labdva nandi bhavati ko hevenat ka pranyat yadesha akasha anando nasyat hesha evanandayat. Just I am reading in a prose form, sorry. So yadvai tat sukrutam, that Brahman, which is indeed the self-creator, is ananda, blissful. Having attained this ananda alone, one becomes happy. Who will indeed inhale and who will exhale? If this ananda were not there in the inner space, this Brahman alone pleases all. So yadvai tat sukrutam raso vai saha. That which was known as the self-creator is verily the source of joy. So who is the creator of this universe? If you ask, we all know that Brahman. And Brahman is the source of joy. Raso vai saha. Still I remember a joke. A senior monk in the monastery, he used to take rasam lot. South India, there's a particular way of preparation. It is a particular preparation when you bake the dal and the very plain water and they add some spices. So it is called rasam basically. And southern part of India, Karnataka, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, southern part of India, Jain mainly, they take every day or often. And one Swami used to take rasam very often and he was very fond of it. Probably it was too much, probably. Then someone asked, Swami, why do you take rasam so much? And why are you fond of rasam? He said, Raso vai saha. You know, Upanishad says rasam is the Brahman or Atman or whatever. That's the reason I love rasam. There is no connection there. It was a philosophical joke or it was a just pun actually. Why do I love? Because he loves rasam, that's all. So, but he gave a philosophical explanation for that. Why? Because raso vaisa Upanishad has said, so I love rasam. Anyhow, so raso vaisaha means rasa here is what? Ananda, happiness or bliss. Not the pleasure, it is a bliss. So the source of bliss is what? The self. The source of bliss is not the world or any object or power, position, name and fame. Brahman is the source of joy, or consciousness is the source of joy. Sri Ramakrishna, the master, gives a beautiful example to make this point very clear. He gives the example of the camel actually. Camel eats cactus fruit. Now you imagine, cactus, if you remember, it is with a fleshy thing with a lot of thorns actually. And once in a while it leaves a flower, and flower then finally it gets a fruit. Generally the fruit is not at all tasty. And the camel eats this fruit, cactus fruit. And in that cactus fruit, small thorns are there. And when the camel, when it tries to eat, while eating, the small thorns, it pricks the camel's tongue. And because of that, the blood is oozed out from the camel's tongue. And the blood is mixed with the fruit. And camel is thinking that the fruit is very delicious. But the deliciousness does not come from the fruit, rather it is coming from its own blood. But unfortunately, camel is thinking that the cactus fruit is very delicious. The same thing we can see with the dog actually. Dog, when it bites with, when it tries to keep on biting with the rubber, or some dogs I have seen, or otherwise bone. It loves bone. If you give it, it is happy and it keeps on biting the bone. Why? It enjoys. While doing that, after some time, what happens? Again, there also its own saliva and its own blood mixes with that. Then it thinks that bone is very tasty or bone is very delicious. So the deliciousness which the dog is enjoying, it is not because of bone, it is because of its own saliva and because of its own blood. So this example we can think like that. So we think that, for example, chocolate is very delicious and very tasty, and that is the source of happiness. And if you ask someone, they say, I think I don't like chocolates much. And someone, if you go to ice cream shop and if you ask, what do you like? He say, oh, I like caramel. And someone says butterscotch. Someone says maybe vanilla. And if I say chocolate, then say, oh, no, vanilla is good, chocolate is not at all good. So whether vanilla is delicious or not, whether chocolate is delicious or not, they are neither delicious, they are not delicious. It is only because I like it, I am superimposing the deliciousness of the ice cream, and I am thinking, if I take vanilla ice cream, it is so nice, it is so beautiful. So the Upanishad is trying to tell that the source of happiness is what? The self, and you are that, and you are superimposing that ananda in the objects, and you are thinking that objects are the source of happiness. No, it is not. So the sensual pleasures, we are always behind the sensual pleasures, but it is a wrong thinking. That's what Upanishad is trying to tell here. The source of happiness is in you, my dear. Stop searching for happiness outside and start searching for happiness inside, because you are the source of happiness. So yadvai tat sukrutam raso vai saha. Whichever is self-made, self-creator is verily the source of joy. That's a reason. Interestingly, in India also, and here also people do ask, especially when I was in India, I was in a college as a warden. I used to look after the boys who used to get trained for would-be teachers. Okay, so it was 74 acres of land and a huge building with 150 rooms, and 100 students used to be there. And it was a completely residential college. And in winter, in the holidays, they used to go, say for a week, 2 weeks, or for 1 month. Some of the students used to ask me, Swami, when we are not there, hardly 4 or 5 people in this entire building will be there, including you. Will you not feel boredom? Really, do you miss us? Because we are not there, I think you will feel morose, you will feel unhappy, and you'll be waiting that when our children will come, students will come, isn't it? So like that, a few students asked me. I said, my dear, when you are there, I am happy. When you are not there, I am more happy. When you are there, I'm happy, no doubt, I'm not suffering. But when you are not there, I am more happy. Why? Because no work, no responsibilities, I can spend time with myself. It was a rude shock for them. How can you be happy in this such a big campus with 4 or 5 people, almost like a one corner, east one side, west one person, north one side, south one person. Like that, if people are there in this such a huge campus, how can you be happy? I said, my happiness does not depend on you. My happiness depends on me. So this is the beauty of the Vedanta. When you study and understand the Vedanta, you will be able to put into practice the happiness resides in me, not in anyone, not in any object, not in any person. And even if you see, once, I went to one of the talk. It was quite a big college, and youngsters, they come with a very innovative questions. One fellow, after listening to my talk and coming to know about my biodata and all, he said, Swami, I really feel sorry for you. And the question and the session, he was saying that, Swami, I really feel sorry for you. I really feel pity for you. I said, thank you. You are really feeling sorry for you. For me, thank you. You are so much concerned. I am very happy. Can I ask you, why are you feeling sorry for me? Said, Swami, because you don't have an option to change your clothes. You have to wear the uniform, same marker ropes every day. So today I will wear green color, some day other wear red, some wear white, and I can change in clothes. Even you don't have an option in clothes itself, Swami. I feel it is very monotonous life, boring. I think really I am feeling sorry and pitiful. You have missed a lot in this world. I don't know, why did you take this decision? He really felt it and he really expressed it. And I was laughing at it. But I said, my dear, I am more happy than you. Say, even for example, in the Christian faith, desert fathers. They lived in the deserts, in the caves, and there was only a small door which was locked always, and small window used to be there. And every day they used to give one-time food, and they used to have that, and whole day they used to spend time in contemplation. So there is no AC, there is no internet, and there are no people to talk. There is no one to care for you, but still they were happiest people. What does it show? Happiness does not depend on the external factors. Happiness depends on me and my mindset. So the whole spiritual life is what? From the world dependence to the God dependence or the self-dependence. That's what the spiritual life is. Sharanagati, when you say self-surrender, is what? It is only switching over from the world to the God or to the highest self. That doesn't mean that I should neglect relationships. I am insensitive to the worldly things or the things happening in the world. No, it doesn't mean that. Probably we need food, clothes, shelter and other things for our survival, no doubt. But my dependency will be bare minimum for my survival, that's all, not more than that. It is not the case of insensitivity, rather it is just accepting that my happiness depends on me, not on the world and its objects or on the people. All right, rasagai hevayam labdva nandi bhavati. So one becomes happy, one can be happy at all given point of times, quote and unquote, without changing anyone, without changing anything. One can be happy at all given point of times when a person comes in contact with this source of joy, that is the self. So how can I be happy at all given point of times, if you ask? The Upanishad is telling by coming into contact with the self. Means trying to understand and trying to experience, I am that awareness, I am the self, not the body and mind. So ayam means rasagahi eva ayam. Ayam means what? Human being. This human being, rasam labdva, after understanding I am that Brahman, anandi bhavati, one becomes happy, blissful. So how can you be happy at all point of time? Simple, understand who are you. Oh, I know who am I? I have got a biodata, I have got my own CV. So there is no need for understanding that. No, that is all with pertaining to your body and mind. It is something to the real self, that is the Atman or Brahman. Yesha eva anandayati. Atman alone can give the ananda to every individual. That has been told very emphatically by the Rishi. So don't search for happiness anywhere. Search for in yourself, then you can get the happiness. That is called Brahmananda. So the fifth argument was the source of happiness is for the self and you are that self. So why are we seeking happiness always? Because that is my real nature. The whole life, if you see, I am searching for happiness. I am searching for basic necessities. And apart from basic necessities, I am searching for only two things. One is happiness, the other is security. And both of these things can be given only by the Atman, understanding I am that Atman. All right. Now the sixth argument will be given by Upanishad is the sentiency given to the inert material or inert body is by this consciousness. Means consciousness lends the sentiency or to the life or sentiency to this inert body and mind. Just like, of course, yesterday or day before yesterday, we had a new moon day. So after 13 days, we'll have a full moon day. In full moon day, if you see, you will see a beautiful moon with a beautiful rays, moon rays. Like moonlight dinner, we would like to have a moonlight dinner. It is so nice, feelings, experience, soothing and all. But that moonlight, whatever we are experiencing, does it belongs to moon? No. It borrows the energy from the sun, which we are all aware of it. So similarly, the body and mind is feeling conscious, sentient, whatever you are saying, that has been borrowed from the self. So this is the sixth argument given by the Upanishad to prove that self exists. Now you might ask, Swamiji, why is breaking so much? And why is he telling so many things? We have to study all these things. He could have told in one or two things, that would have been enough. Whether has he got any doubt himself? So he's repeating it again and again? No. Because we have been hypnotized as body and mind so much, it is so strong in our mind, deep rooted, to remove it. The Rishi, out of compassion, is telling, my dear, try to understand, okay, point number one, angle A, if not angle B, if not angle C, if not angle D, if not angle E. So from different perspectives, the Rishi is trying to tell us, trying to make us understand, you are the self, you have a body and mind, you are not the body and mind. To make us understand, to remove our ignorance out of compassion, he is telling all these things. All right. Now if you see the stone, soil, wood, steel, plastic, and including diamond, gold and all, they are inert substances. We don't have any doubt. They don't have any life in that. Okay. Now what about this body and matter? I think body and matter has got a life. We might think Vedanta says, it tells very clearly, no. This body, including the mind, is also the part and product of matter. If it is part and parcel of or a product of matter, then how it can be sentient? So the sentiency which you see in the body and mind is being borrowed by the self or consciousness. If you remember the Drupdashya Viveka, there we can see very clearly. The self lends the consciousness to the reflecting medium that's called mind, and the mind reflects the energy to the sense organs, and sense organs lends the energy to the sense objects. In Drupdashya Viveka already we have seen. So body and mind is only matter. It is feeling that it has got a sentiency. It is because of the consciousness. And I think Sri Ramakrishna gives a simple example, you see. This is such a, very subtle concept. Sri Ramakrishna explains in a very simple day-to-day experiences. So imagine a cooking pot. In a cooking pot, you have poured water and you have put vegetables and you are boiling it. After some time, what happens? Imagine, it is a beautiful way of explanation, masters, that is Sri Ramakrishna's, that like vegetables are dancing. Thinking that, look, how much we are powerful, thinking that the vegetables are dancing. Then the fire says, oh my dear, the power I have lended you, that's why you are dancing. Without me, you are nothing. Vegetables doesn't accept it. Oh, no. It is not because of you. We are powerful, so we are dancing. You see how much. Then fire says, hold on 1 minute, and it withdraws. The moment fire is withdrawn, all the vegetables dances come into halt and vegetables become quiet. Isn't it? So the vegetables got that energy, so-called dancing, is because of the fire. So similarly, this body and mind is feeling conscious or sentient. That is because of the Atman or Brahman or consciousness. Yad yeshaha anandaha akashaha nas syat. And if this ananda is not present in the space, which is the heart, that is the reflecting medium. Heart is actually mind here, the reflecting medium. So we are all experiencing that happiness in the mind, isn't it? That is because of the reflecting medium in the mind, and that happiness is derived from the consciousness or the self. Kahai eva anyat kah pranyat. Who is inhaling, who is exhaling, or who is the energy, who is giving strength to inhale and exhale? Oh, we know that our body, we feel that. But even for that, the prana shakti, the energy, is also nothing but consciousness is lending the energy for the energy itself. So basically, Rishi is trying to tell that if consciousness does not exist, no inhalation and exhalation is possible. So the very life principle itself is the manifestation from the consciousness. And I think in the Bhagavad Gita, beautifully it says in the 15th chapter, Utkramantam sthitam vapi bunjanam va gunanvitam vimudhananu pashyanti gnana chakshusha. The 15th chapter in Gita, they say, means the deluded ones does not recognize the self who leaves the body, who resides in the body, who experiences the objects and who has gunas. Those who have the eye of wisdom, they recognize the self. I mean, just to make us understand. So if you see, you are breathing. I am breathing, for example, if you think that is the one of the proof that self exists. I am seeing you. Many of you have put your videos on. So I am seeing you. I'm able to see you. Probably you are in different countries. Maybe in Ireland or in different countries. But still I'm able to see. That means what? There is a Brahman behind this. I'm speaking. Behind this, there's a Brahman. You are hearing. There is a Brahman. The Brahman is behind this. Consciousness is behind. And you are trying to understand the information, processing the information which you are getting it, data analysis. There is also Brahman behind that. So where to find this Brahman, if you ask, Upanishad tells at every moment, at every step, we can really feel and experience the existence of the Brahman or the self or that I with caps. Okay. Yada evaisha etasmin adrushenatme nirukte nilayane bhayam pratishtam vindate ataso bhayam gato bhavati yada evaisha etasmin aduram antaram kurute atatasya bhayam bhavati tatveva bhayam vidusha manvanasya tadapyesha shloko bhavati. When indeed one attains this fearless oneness in this Brahman, which is invisible, bodiless, undefinable, and supportless, then he also attains fearlessness. When one projects even the slightest division in this Brahman, then there will be fear for him. That Brahman itself is the source of fear, and one who is learned but ignorant of Brahman. In this regard, there is a following Rigveda mantra. Now, the Rishi is giving a very powerful statement actually. Very like mercilessly a person speaks, he's saying that we say. So similarly, a Rishi is speaking very mercilessly. One who understands this truth, he will become fearless. One who does not understand this, he will be with fear. He may be minister, he may be a head of a country or head of a state. He may be millionaire, he may be billionaire, but he will have a fear of death. That is called abhinivesha. So money cannot help us to come out from the fear of death. Achievements, external achievements cannot help us to come out from fear of death. I'm celebrity, I'm looking so beautiful, I'm looking nice and all, but that doesn't help us to come out from the fear of death. All these things can increase more and more. Then what really can help us to become fearless at all point of times? That is understanding my real nature or experiencing my real nature. So this is the seventh argument given by the Rishi. So Brahman is the source of fear and fearlessness for an ignorant and wise person respectively. One who doesn't understand I am the self, for him the Brahman becomes the cause of fear. One who understands and experiences that I am that Brahman, that itself becomes the source of fearlessness. And now quite interestingly, if you see, July 21st is the Holy Mother's passing away. July 4th was the Swami Vivekananda leaving this mortal coil, and 21st of July was the Holy Mother left her body. And in all these people's case, if you see, they decided when to go, and they had given early itself, they had told that we will leave our body and all. They left happily without having any morals, as if just going to from one village to one village or from one town to another. They said, all right, tata, bye bye, and they left. Because there was no fear for them. Why? They were very clear that they are the self, not the body and mind. So when I act in the world, when I behave, when I do any action in the world with security, means that is ingrained with the self or a God, then the whole life, every action, every incident, every situation will become a game. That's what in the technical language, philosophical language, we say Leela. It is a sport game, basically. It is a game, fun. So for Swami Vivekananda, it was all fun actually. But when we don't understand this, when with the insecurity, when we live in this world, every action, every event can become the source of unhappiness or a struggle or a suffering or a fear. Whereas for us, all these great people, including Jesus Christ knew what happens earlier, probably. He knew it very clearly. But still, he was not fearful. He was not morose. Even for one of his disciples, he says that 3 times you will, you will reject me. His disciples said, no, I will never do that. Whatever it might happen, it will never. But it happens really before the crucifixion of the Christ. So his own, one of the disciples, 3 times he rejects that I am not the disciple of the Christ. And beautifully, Christ has told laughingly that you will reject me thrice before the end of me. So for them, it was all game basically. But for us, it is serious. It becomes, why? Because we are not ingrained in the self, we are ingrained in the matter or the body and mind. All right. Yadahi eva eshaha. When indeed someone adrushe anatme anirukte anilayane. Okay, you are saying that Brahman exists, and you are giving arguments for the existence of the Brahman. What is this Brahman? First, you explain me. Already you had told me earlier, Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma. I have forgotten. Can you tell me once more to recall what is this Brahman? Now here Rishi is giving in a negative way. This is called Neti Neti. Not this, not this, not this. So Adrushe, the Brahman is not visible because he does not have any form. He does not have any color. He does not have any shape. Then Anatme. Anatmya means it doesn't have any body at all. Then Anirukte. Anirukte means he cannot be defined. He cannot be explained in our words. Anilayane. Anilayane means like I'm sitting on the chair. So chair is support for me. And who is the support for chair? That is the earth, soil. And who is the support for earth? Our solar system. And for solar system, Milky Way galaxy. And for Milky Way galaxy, universe. It can go on like this. And who is the supporter for this universe? Who is supporting this universe? If you ask, there is no one is required for supporting this Brahman, because Brahman itself is the support for everyone, for everything. That is called Anilayana. Anilaya, it is homeless. It is homeless means, oh, probably it has to go for social housing then. No, it does not need it because it is the substratum for its existence. So the moment you understand the Brahman, what happens? Abhayam pratishtam vindate. He gets firmly established in the Brahman with fearlessness. I think again it reminds me one of the quite interesting story. There was a senior monk in our monastery, Swami Abhayananda. Abhaya, fearless. He was really fearless in his nature. He was one of the Advaita Vedantini, seriously Advaita Vedantini was. And his name was called Bharat Maharaj. He was famous more by the name Bharat Maharaj. He was a manager in the Belur Math for a long time in our head monastery. So he went to one of our monastery, which was in the Himalayas, which is called Mayavati, which Swami Vivekananda himself started. So there, in those days, now also it is a forest. In those days, it was more thick forest. and no electricity, anything, lantern and all. And often they used to see the guests there. The guests were lion, deers, tigers and all. So the guests were often they used to see. One fine day evening, late evening, Swami has come for some reason. He has come out. Suddenly he encounters a lion or a tiger. Now imagine. A lion or tiger comes, what happens? Swami, we will seek the self afterwards. Now we will try to protect ourselves and everyone disperses. Just in a blink of eye. Now, he didn't shout. He didn't cry. Even he didn't pray for God. Or he thought probably, okay, my death has come to the end probably. No reaction. Only he wanted to know. Interestingly, you see, at that spur of moment, even at that spur of moment, he only wanted to know whether his heartbeat has been increased or not. So he is not trying to protect himself from the lion or tiger, to run away or to shout people or to find out a tool to protect himself. He's saying that, okay, let me see whether my heartbeat has increased or not after seeing the tiger. He keeps his hand and he tries to feel and he sees, okay, my heartbeat is normal. It has not been more. Means, okay, that means I am fearless. Then he understands and he decides it's fearless, and after in a moment or in a few minutes, the tiger or lion, interestingly, it goes away. It goes away and Swami continues his walking or his work. You see, when you get fixed in yourself, we can see in the similar story in the Swami Vivekananda's life also. So when you get fixed in yourself, when you understand and experience I am that self, then no one can shake you. No one can disturb you. No one can really, can be the cause for disturbance basically. So we allow the disturbance actually. Until otherwise we allow, no one can disturb us. We may say, oh, because my fiancé, our husband and wife, children, my boss, my neighbor, or XYZ, we say, no. Until otherwise we allow, no one can disturb us. So we are allowing them, we are welcoming them physically or mentally so that they can disturb us actually. So that means what? The self-knowledge alone can remove the fearlessness. It can only remove the real insecurity for us. And how can I be at all point of times? Only by understanding and experiencing I am the self. So, ataha saha abhayam gataha bhavati. Then indeed he attains the state of absolute fearlessness. So there will be emotional stability will be there. He will not depend on someone else for his emotional dependency or for his happiness or whatever. Now, one more very strong statement has been given by the Rishi. Yada hi eva yesha etasmin uduram antaram kurute. If some person even slightly thinks that I am different from the Brahman, I am very close to Brahman, but I am not the Brahman. Even a thread, a hairline of difference, even if you feel, then for such a person, definitely he will suffer and he will have a fear. So it's a very emphatical way of saying that's all. So he says, sir, ignorant person even sees the slightest difference. Udaram, here udaram means slightest. Antaram, difference. One who sees slightest difference between himself and the Brahman, then atha tasya bhayam bhavati. He is smitten with a fear. Just like a snake bite, smitten. So he is smitten with the fear, it says. Like a snake it bites. So like that, you will be bitten by the fear. So, tattu eva bhayam vidushaha amanvanasya is also giving one more thing. Look, you might know whole of Upanishads. You might have studied entire Vedas. You might be PhD in philosophy and all, but if you don't understand this and experience it, still you will be living in the fear. So mere intellectual understanding is not enough. That is the first step of progress, no doubt. That has to be put into practice. That has been told by Rishi clearly as a statement. So that's why many times what happens, philosophy can become intellectual gymnasium. Just I understand mathematics, I will not become mathematics. By understanding the physics or thermodynamics, I am not going to become. But here the spirituality, Vedanta is quite different, is by understanding that I am going to transform. That's again a limited language I am using. Only ignorance will be removed. And if you understand it and if you don't put into practice, And if you don't materialize it, manifest it, then also you will be suffering, fear will be there. So to understand, Brahman is the source of happiness. Brahman is the source of fearlessness. Brahman is the source of existence. Brahman is the source of knowledge also. Tadappesha sloko bhavati. Again, the Rishi comes, hold on, my dear. It is not only my understanding, even the earlier scriptures are also confirms my understanding. Tadappesha sloko bhavati. Let me quote one of the Rigveda mantra again to substantiate my argument. All these things can be understood beautifully in a simply rope and snake. Vedanta standard example. I mistook the rope for snake and I started fearing. My heartbeat got increased. I shouted, oh, there is a snake, there is a snake. And whether people came into my rescue or I went and I bought a torchlight with a stick to kill it or to chase it. Then when I go with the lamp and I say, oh my dear, what a foolish, it was only rope, it was never snake. So when you see the rope as a rope, then there is no fear at all. When you mistake the rope as a snake, there is always fear. So you are the self, I am that self. When I see the self as a self, there is no, a chance or any cause for fear. But when I mistake the self as a body and mind, or body and mind as self, then only there is a chance for us to suffer and struggle and go ups and downs, emotional upheaval or whatnot. So that has been told. Okay, what the Rigvedic mantra has told to substantiate his Rishi's argument, let us try to understand in the next class, in the 7th or 8th Anuvaka, that is the 8th paragraph. That's quite interesting. So it is a Brahmananda Mimamsa it gives. It's quite interesting actually. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu. Yeah, if you got any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Maharaj, you mentioned that Brahman was existing in Asat form, which is the unmanifested form. Does that mean, because Swamiji used to say that everything that we know of will end one day because it's all temporary, like the sun, the earth, the moon, everything will end because nothing is permanent. So does that mean that once everything ends, it will go back to existing in Asat form?
You are right. You are right. So that's where we do, the Vedas and Upanishads, we don't accept the theory of creation. We only accept the theory of manifestation. So from unmanifested state, it came into manifested state. And from manifested state, again it goes to unmanifested state. So from unmanifested state to manifested state, you can say that is what the creation. And from manifested state to unmanifested state it goes, that is called destruction or dissolution.
So it will always exist, just in different forms.
Only in a different form, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank
Forms
you.
changes. Yeah.
Thank you.